But ultimately, we are seeing drivers looking to try and work everything out. Here's Corey Shepherd in the 718 and Kyle George in the 910. But Corey Shepherd, the Mr. Antenna car for the Premier Racing team. What a season this driver's had. He's not had a full season here in SCOPS, but when he has been racing, he has been up there and challenging in and around that top 10 and has been a staple fixture of a lot of these events and someone who could definitely be someone who knocks on the door, similar to Adam Briggs, and says, you know what, I may be on for more than a top 10 next season. I could be fighting for top 5 in the championship very, very comfortably. Jordan Caruso, 1:29.128. So it's the fastest time then in the practices at the moment for the Otis Esports team. And Corey Shepherd here, how do you feel that his season has gone as someone who has really profited and gained from the jump from 2019 spec, of course, on the old vehicles to 2020 spec in the new ones?
Yeah, well, that is the big change that you got to deal with, and some drivers have had more success transitioning to these new cars than others. They do those times are. I mean, there's barely a couple of tenths covering third to about 7th place. It's crazy. Now we get to see what Corey Shepherd can do as he goes into turn 1. You were singing his praises earlier, Sperry, but now we get to see what he can do on his own.
We certainly can. We're into the final 10 then in terms of this lap, and Reese, now is all about, okay, top 10. How much more added pressure do you have?
Plenty of pressure. If you're one of the last cars to go out, you've been waiting for most of the session for the call, and you've been hyping yourself up in the driver's seat for that entire time. So when you actually get out there onto the circuit, it's a bit of a battle to keep yourself, to keep your head clear, give yourself some peace of mind. But it looks like Corey Shepherd had quite a bit of peace of mind through that opening section. It looked incredibly clean. What about 7-11? Nice straight braking zone, just avoids the wall, squaring it off on the entry. A little bit compromised through there, but it's not going to hurt his time too much. He needs to focus on the exit of this corner, and my goodness, he has nailed it.
Absolutely, and now he's got to get this final section all nicely wrapped up. This is looking like it's going to be a very, very important lap here for Corey Shepherd. He knows what he's capable of doing. He has been challenging the elites in this series just on the outskirts. He's someone who's done very well also on a Monday night as well with, of course, us at SimSpeed TV. But what's the drive going to be like for Shepherd over towards the line? 29.1 still the benchmark. That's another 29.6 on the border. 6.75 this time, and that's 7th position. Now you've got 5 cars split by half a tenth of a second. This, ladies and gentlemen, here on the iRacing Esports Network for this, your SCOPS 2020 season. We're welcoming you to the Super Sprint, the Street Sprint, and it starts right now as they head towards turn number 1. It looked like a good start there from Jordan Caruso, but look at Gilliam. He got a really good run there through turn number 1 as they funnel on through, but the inside at 2 is always going to be Caruso's now. It's all about attack now, this next section, as they funnel on through towards turn 3, which is going to be the big braking zone. Hopefully there's no dramas here. Caruso on the inside defending that one as they go on through, and it looks like it's going to be nicely worked, but on the outside there's still some fighting. El Nabi and Madison Down are there at the moment, side by side, trying to work things out, but ultimately nice and clean was that start as they go on through. We go on board from Kobe Jones. He's gained a place then off of this start, and now looking at the back of one Mr. James Scott.
Everyone made it through turn 3 cleanly, it seems, so we'll see if there are any casualties out. Yeah, it does look like someone is out. That is Kyle George missing his front bumper, and that happened between turns 4 and 5. That was contact with Cameron Veacock.
That could throw the safety car here because he's not in a position where you can pull that one away, so that's going to be awkward. Safety car is deployed then on the
position, but Forza and El Nabi behind really starting to pile on the pressure as well. We'll see what Madison Down can do as well, because he's a little bit far back from El Nabi at the moment, but give him a couple of laps to get into a rhythm and things might just change as we look through the midfield. Brian Ball is heading up one heck of a pack here. He's got Chris Coxhead and Corey Shepherd really pressuring him as we ride
at some point here in this race. There is Brian Ford with mirrors full of the Zuva Racing 208 of Chris Coxhead here, and he's got his teammate behind. If you want sandwiches on sandwiches, you've got a fantastic Premier Racing Team Zuva double stack sandwich.
That's a club sandwich just about, and I don't think Brian Borg is finding it very delicious because he's got quite the pressure being put on him from the situation for that driver to be in. But that three-car pack of Gilliam, Elnabi and Downs still running line astern as we see Brian Borg under attack from Corey Shepherd into turn 2. You can see Chris Coxhead starting to streak away from this pack now, and Borg, I think it's been proven he was the cork in the bottle for that one, because have a look at this pursuing pack behind. You can barely fit them all into the one corner.
You certainly can't. It's almost like trying to do the Mini Cooper challenge where you try and see how many people you can fit inside a Mini Cooper. But for the time being anyway, it seems like everyone in the pack has got to be patient, or they've got to play the alternative card. And that alternative card is, well, we can come down in, we can make a stop now, we can try and cycle on out and get ourselves a little bit out of position. But if there are no safety cars, we are in a good position to go out there and make this race what we can make of it. So now you start wondering here, okay, are we going to start seeing here drivers get a little bit desperate? Wayne Burke.
So no harm, no foul. Continue on. Now Gilliam can focus on catching back up to Elnabi, but that gap is quite large as we see Brett Loxton and Corey Shepherd battling for 14th and 15th. Modem simulation replay coming up because something happened between these two guys just before. They were side by side on the exit of turn 2. Loxton had just come out of the pits, so this was actually a really nicely secured move for Loxton up the inside into turn 2, and he's got the fresh tyres to boot. He can just protect from Shepherd.
Yes, it came together at the end, but he's just held off one of the great strategic drives, and Forzan Elnabi now builds momentum here as they head to the final 3 rounds of the championship. Oh my word!
Oh my word indeed. That was a dramatic conclusion to this event. James Scott is going to cross the line to take 3rd. Excellent job from him. And Andrew Gilliam recovering to finish 4th after that hit from Jordan Caruso. Great job from him. Burke in 5th, Jones in 6th. Kobe has just been on fire today. But how about that fight between Down and Elnabi? I think Elnabi will certainly appreciate the redress from Down. It's good to know that there is respect between the drivers, and of course, as you mentioned, Down thinking about the championship. Not